Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here for the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your planning outlook on Friday the 5th of April. It's looking a very easterly dominated weather regime as we head through the middle part of April. High pressure dominating toward the north. There won't be a great deal of precipitation of any form, but it will be a chilly pattern and maintaining the snow cover that's in existence across much of the higher areas, particularly across the Cairngorms where substantial falls came down in the past week. A cold pattern then will dominate over many days next week. These are your temperatures. This is at 850 millibars. Now that's just a little bit higher up than the Scottish tops, but it's the good steer for the air masses overall. We're just lifting a degree or so above freezing through these next few days, so the weekend and perhaps even Monday for some areas are comparatively milder than what we have just seen. The far north and northeast of Scotland are always just being fed by chillier air, which may keep the tops here nearer to or just below freezing, particularly Sunday into Monday. Around some western mountains you might be up to 5 Celsius or above, let's say 800 or 900 metres. The much colder air though returns from the northeast as we go toward the middle of next week from about Tuesday, freezing levels lowering to 800 metres or below, sub-zero extensively across most of the uplands then, and the highest tops maybe -3 to -5 in the Cairngorms on the highest levels. And over a good number of days ahead next week as you run onwards, even maybe towards the following weekend, cold east or northeasterlies are likely to prevail, maybe just easing with time as we head further towards the middle of April. It's a bit more uncertain though, as you might expect, the further ahead that we go. Let's have a look at the charts for these next few days, and there's a bit of uncertainty even within that. Little complexities of features coming in from the North Sea. This is Saturday, and what is a weak warm front is trying to come in. That's just lifting those temperatures a little bit, but it's producing a lot of low cloud, and that will be the dominating factor these next few days across eastern hills particularly, often shrouded in fog to quite low levels. Some rain and snow across the higher ground in the central parts of the Highlands, passing westwards through the course of the day. Maybe just low cloud filling in onto the North Pennines too, off the North Sea as time goes on. Best of the sunshine and the clearer skies across the lakes, across Wales, and maybe for a good many hours around the western coast of the Highlands. Looks as though winds strengthen as those easterlies on Sunday. A bit of a messy situation, a ragged remnants of a warm front passing westwards across England into Wales, with low cloud maybe a bit more extensive across the Pennines, best breaks towards the lakes. Even Wales may well be brighter and clearer for much of the day. Some uncertainty just how much that cloud spills its way westwards. Pretty extensive low cloud probably across a good part of the central eastern Scottish Highlands, at best breaks again toward the west. Some rain may just organise itself across the Pennines, eastern Scotland perhaps for a time, to give a rather murky and damp picture. Chillier air trying to edge into the far north of Scotland on what is a weak cold front. And that slips further southwards into Monday. Not really a dramatic change of temperature. It's not, I suppose, a cold front in many traditional senses that comes in with a marked temperature change, but it may just give a zone of more organised rain for a time across England and Wales. Uncertainties as to the precise detail. Generally, again, eastern hills likely to be shrouded in low cloud. Some breaks developing, best of those more toward the western side of Scotland, and temperatures maybe just dipping a degree or so. It's a fairly stable air mass that will be in place over a few days, so when those winds do strengthen as easterlies, quite gusty to lower slopes, through passes, through cols, across the Pennines, there may be the helm wind that tries to get itself going. So expect that gustiness and a really chilly feel increasingly into Tuesday then, as those temperatures likely to have dropped by this stage, feeling very cold where exposed. Uncertainties about what's left of this front across England and Wales. There may again be some areas of rain, but for many of the mountain areas substantially dry, with the best of the brighter, clearer conditions toward the western side of Scotland. Fairly similar into Wednesday. Again, high pressure dominates towards the north, low pressure is over the continent, the easterly continues, maybe some showers coming in from the east if little troughs just develop, some snow, maybe some hail mixed in with that. Still the risk of low cloud covering those eastern hills, best breaks away toward the west and feeling cold again in that easterly wind. The difficulty then going further forwards is just when that easterly finally does start to change. At the moment it looks as though it's with us for a good few days right the way toward the end of the week, as high pressure is very dominant towards the north of Britain, holding on to that chilly pattern then with the likelihood of low cloud at times across eastern hills. Some variations in terms of the moisture of the air may just mean that that cloud breaks up on some days, other days it fills back in across those eastern hills, always best of the breaks towards the west. Now onwards maybe towards next weekend, just some indications of the pattern turning a bit more southeasterly, which would drag in some less cold air, but it might also start to see frontal systems approaching from the southwest. Still, essentially for Scotland, very little in the way of precipitation, and driest, brightest conditions always toward the west and northwest. So the likely situation, to sum up the week as a whole heading through towards the 18th of April, is a chart something like this, with high pressure dominant towards the northeast of Britain over Scandinavia, low pressure stuck somewhere over the Atlantic, and it's a bit of a battleground developing at that point as to whether the easterly holds on or we start to see something encroaching in from the southwest, and with that probably some improvement in temperatures, but also the risk of some rain, maybe preceded for a time on the hills by some snow. So there will be a little bit of thawing over the next few days as temperatures briefly lift, but where there's the extensive snow cover that's in place following recent days, that will still be around well on into the middle of the month, so bear that in mind for the next week to 10 days. We'll update the video for you again on Tuesday next week. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.